Gentlemen, welcome to the playing field for tonight's State League action. Gentlemen, your Wareham Gatemen. Tonight's lineup is brought to you by Chatham for Chatham. Batting first, playing center field from Illinois State, number 3, John Ray. And shortstop from North Carolina, number 2, Greg Jones. Batting third, the first baseman from Georgia Tech, number 12, Christian English. Batting fourth, the designated hitter from Georgia Tech, number 7, Kyle King. Batting fifth, the left fielder from Oklahoma, number 10, Colin Simpson. Batting sixth, the third baseman from Southern Cal, number 5, Ben Ramirez. Batting seventh, the catcher from Southern Cal, number 21, Blake Sable. Batting eighth, the right fielder from the University of Hawaii, number 18, Adam Fuller. And batting ninth, the second baseman from Stetson, number 49, Jorge Arenas. And pitching from Georgia State, number 9, Hunter Gaddis. And for Wareham, batting first, the left fielder from UCLA, number 7, Jeremy Ivins. Batting second, the shortstop from Cal State Fulton, number 3, Sahid Valenzuela. Batting third, the designated hitter from Florida International, number 12, Austin Fenton. Batting fourth, the right fielder from East Carolina, number 6, Ryan Packard. Batting fifth, the first baseman from Houston, number 18, Lyle Lockhart. Batting sixth, the third baseman from Kent State, number 16, Hayden Carls. Batting seventh, the second baseman from Utah, number 50, Oliver Dunn. Batting eighth, the catcher from Nebraska, number 14, Luke Roscoe. And batting ninth, the center fielder from Purdue, number 51, Skylar Hunter. And pitching tonight from Cal Berkeley, number 45, Joey Matulich. National anthem, please welcome Morgan Gifford. Morgan is going into the 9th grade at Upper Katy Tech High School. She has been singing since she was 2 years old and plays the piano and violin. She is a member of Wareham High Color Guide. Parent and loyal Gatemen fan, Mike Peters. Catching tonight's first pitch is Gatemen first baseman, Parker Phillips. kids for this evening are Patrick Peters and Michael Semio.
Hello everyone and welcome into Spillane Field here as we bring you Cape Cod Baseball League action tonight. And your Wareham Gatemen are hosting the Chatham Anglers, both teams on a losing streak right now, 2 in a row for either side. So something has got to give tonight. Hello, welcome into the broadcast on WCTV here. I'm Cameron Stewart going solo tonight. Gatemen have hit the first rut of the season, but they turn to Joey Matulovic tonight, the right-hander from Cal, who was on the mound. Also defensively for him, Luke Roscom is doing his catching. Lyle Lockhart making a second start at first base. Oliver Dunn in the lineup and playing second. Sahid Valenzuela moves from second to shortstop, and playing third will be the newest face for the Gatemen, Paven Parks from Kent State. Out in left field, Bryant Packard. In center, Skylar Hunter, and in right, Jeremy Idens, so no changes there. For the Anglers, they will start things off with John Rave, who will lead off and play center field. Greg Jones will follow him, and Tristan English in the 3-hole playing first base. Cleaning up is going to be the designated hitter Kyle McCann. Colin Simpson bats fifth, followed by Ben Ramirez, who's had some great success off the Gatemen this year. Blake Sable, the catcher, bats seventh. Adam Fogel, the right fielder, will bat eighth. And to round things out, the second baseman Jorge Arenas will bat ninth. About ready to go here for baseball. The first pitch from Joey Matulovic is going to run outside for ball one, and we are underway from Spillane Field on an overcast Wednesday night. No sign of rain in the forecast, but temperatures dipping down into the 60s here in Wareham. As this one is going to be fouled straight back, so the count evens at a ball and a strike. 1-1 is going to be fouled off to the left and out of play by Rave, so he sticks in there. The count is 1-2. And this time, Rave will go down as the first strikeout victim for Joey Matulovic. 1 up, 1 down, and the first K of the night for the Cal Golden Bear. That's how the first out is recorded in front of Greg Jones. Jones' first pitch swinging will foul it off to the left and out of play. The Seahawk from UNC Wilmington hit .278 on the college year. 4 homers and 21 RBI. Matulovic pounds the fastball in there for a called strike 2, so Jones is quickly behind in the count. No balls and 2 strikes. He's hitting .300 on the Cape League year for the Anglers, but he's going to be the second strikeout victim for Matulovic as this one catches the inside corner, and it is a called strike 3, and he goes down looking 2 men up and 2 men down in very quick succession for Matulovic here in the top of the first. Now Tristan English will step in, the first baseman from Georgia Tech. First pitch swinging as well is going to bloop this one into right field towards the fence, and banging into it is Jeremy Idens, but it will go out of play for a foul ball, strike 1. English made the All-ACC first team twice for the Yellow Jackets in 2016 and 2018, and missed the 2017 season due to Tommy John surgery, so when he's been in the lineup for the Ramblin' Wreck, he has certainly wreaked havoc. He's going to swing on this one and foul it straight back. He's behind in the count, 0-2. So in his freshman year of 2016, a freshman All-American was English. There's the 0-2 from Matulovic. We cut on and popped up foul behind home plate and out of play. English filling in lineup spot, the number 3 hole, which is normally occupied by Spencer Torkelson, the Arizona State Sun Devil, who's off for Team USA. He's going to pop this one up, does English, and do short right center field. It's the second baseman, Dunn, moving out, who will make the routine play that retires the side. A good start for Joey Matulovic, 3 up, 3 down with a couple of strikeouts. Gatemen coming up for the first time tonight here on WCTV. Back here in Wareham for the bottom of the first inning. The Anglers went down 1-2-3 in the top half, and now it's the Gatemen turn, starting with Jeremy Idens, who will lead things off and play right field, followed by Sahid Valenzuela, the shortstop tonight, and then Austin Shenton, who fills in again as the designated hitter. Bryant Packard will bat fourth and play left. Lyle Lockhart, first base again tonight, will bat fifth, followed by the new man, Paven Parks, at third, and Oliver Dunn at second. Batting eighth is Luke Roscom, the catcher, and rounding things out in his normal spot is the center fielder, Skylar Hunter. First pitch is swung on and missed by Idens. They will be opposed by Hunter Gaddis tonight for the Anglers from Georgia State. Right-hander's second offering is going to be down in the dirt, and holding up is Idens, so the count's at 1-1. First start of the Cape League season for Gaddis. He has appeared in 2 games, pitched 4 innings in both of them. This one is going to catch the outside corner for a called strike. And for Gaddis, he is 2-0 in those 2 appearances with a 0.0 ERA. He's not allowed to run and has struck out 8 and walked none in his 8 innings pitched. He's run it to 2-2 here on Idens, who has been scuffling as of late. Another 0 for last night in Hyannis. Game in which the Gatemen would fall 9-1 to lose their grip on first place in the Western Division. This pitch going to run up high, so Idens has now worked the count full to 3-2. First hitter of the game against Gaddis. (3-2) Down in the dirt, a nasty breaking ball cut on and missed by Idens. It's already the 3rd strikeout of the game for both pitchers. The first for Gaddis. The first man is retired by way of the swinging strikeout. Now Sahid Valenzuela will step in. He's another guy who got off to a hot start for the Gatemen and is still riding it with a .375 average on the Cape League season. Switch hitter batting left. And first pitch swinging, he's going to shoot it right up the middle into center field for a base hit. So Sahid Valenzuela, who got back on track last night with a hit, keeps the line moving for him, and with 1 on, he represents the first base runner and the first hit of the ball game for Wareham. And when it comes to hitting, the man at the plate right now has not hit a rut all year, has Austin Shenton. It was still above 400, a 419 average on the year for him. Poured in a homer and 9 RBI on this Cape League season. Initial offering is going to be pounded in there for a strike. Shenton moves up to the 3 spot, just like he was last night, the post-Andrew Vaughn era. He moves into that prime RBI position. He hits with a man on here in the first inning. Breaking pitch is just going to miss on the outside corner to Shenton. This count runs to a ball and a strike. Pickoff throw over, back in with a head first slide is Valenzuela. Dirties up the white Gatemen uniform early in the game. Here's the 1-1 to Shenton. This one going to miss off the outside corner. Once again, we've seen pitchers work it outside to Shenton all year. They continue with that, but not getting the call is Gaddis, so he is behind in the count, 2 balls and a strike. 2-1 runs inside on the breaking pitch, and Gaddis really wanted that one, does not get the call. So it now runs into Shenton's favor, 3-1. Swinging is Shenton, and he's going to ground it foul down the third baseline. Battling back, trying not to allow the first walk of the year is Gaddis. Battles back to make it a full count, 3-2. Gaddis going to check on Valenzuela one more time, and Sahid is back in there safely. He was all Sun Belt Conference second team in 2018 was Hunter Gaddis. Twice won the Conference Pitcher of the Week in the Sun Belt this year. And the runner's going to be off with the pitch, and down in there's Valenzuela, but that pitch misses, and it's ball 4 to Shenton. So after Iden struck out, a couple base runners have reached. And with 1 out after a single and a walk, it's Valenzuela at second and Shenton at first, ahead of Bryant Packard. Packard with another extra base hit, a double last night. Hit that one in each of his last 4 games that he has appeared in. Brings it up to a .295 average on the year, 1 homer, 4 RBI. And a move by Gaddis tries to catch Valenzuela off guard, but he's back into second safely. Packard was the hero the last time the Gatemen were at Spillane Field. Walk-off single against Brewster on Saturday to give them a 3-2 victory. He's going to take the first offering in there for a called strike. In fact, the 2 walk-off wins that the Gatemen have this year were 2 of the 3 were walked off by Bryant Packard himself. A walk-off sacrifice fly in the home opener, and then again with a single on Saturday night. 0-1 is going to be swung on and lifted to center field. Coming onto it is John Rave, and he will catch it on the run. So a hard hit ball by Packard does not amount to anything, as both runners have to stay put. And they'll still be at first and second with 2 outs in the bottom of the first, ahead of the first baseman Lyle Lockhart.
First baseman from Houston, number 18, Lyle Lockhart.
For Lockhart, he's still working on that average, just 133 going into tonight's game. Hit his first home run of the season in the first game of the doubleheader Sunday at YD. That was a 10-4 Gatemen victory. First pitch is going to be down in the dirt, starts off speed to Lockhart. And the Gatemen first baseman is ahead of the count, 1-0. 1-0 to him. Check swing on a pitch up high. He holds up, and the pitch is going to miss. So it's now 2-0 to Lockhart, who's just wrapping up his first week with the Gatemen out of the University of Houston, where he was a two-way player for the Cougars. We've also seen him come out of the bullpen for Wareham. In fact, he's the only left-hander still left in the bullpen. This pitch is going to be pounded in there on the inside corner for a called strike. Gaddis starting to battle back, has the count now at 2-1, with 2 outs and a couple of men on base for the Gatemen here in the first inning. Paints the black right on the outside corner, does Gaddis. A called strike 2 evens things up on Lyle Lockhart. It's a favorable wind for the lefty as it's blowing to straightaway right field. Flags whipping here at Spillane Field out in right center. The 2-2 home. He's going to fist it off foul to the screen back behind home plate, so he stands in there. Lockhart was able to drive in 44 for the Cougars this year out of the American Conference. And he looks to drive in another as he's going to slap this into left field for a base hit. They're going to send Valenzuela home. The throw's going to come in, but it's going to be way offline. And Lyle Lockhart delivers with a 2-out RBI single. It's 1-0 Gatemen here in the first inning. So the Gatemen are on the board first, with the 4th RBI of the year for Lyle Lockhart. And there's still runners at first and second with 2 out. And now it's the newest member of the Gatemen, Paven Parks, the 3rd baseman, who will have his first plate appearance coming in from the left side. And we'll take the first offering well off the outside corner of the plate for ball 1. It's not something the Gatemen have been used to, jumping out into a lead, although they did it twice in the doubleheader against YD on Sunday. They split those games. Once again fell behind early and often to Hyannis last night in the 9-1 loss. It's 8-0 by the end of the 4th inning in that game last night at McKeon Park. Parks is going to pop this one up on the infield. And it's going to be the second baseman, Arenas, who starts out now, backs out a little bit at the last moment, but he makes the catch that retires the side. Couple of hits and a run scored for the Gatemen in the first inning. It's 1-0 as we head to the second here on the Gatemen Baseball Network.
Also in stock, a large selection of Cape League items, including tickets to the All-Star Game. Test your pitching speed and pick up a souvenir ball, all at our merchandise booth.
Got legal trouble? Attorney Mark Shea is here to help the greater New Bedford area with real estate and business law, estate planning, and probate. Visit him today.
Mezzaluna is a family-run Italian restaurant celebrating 80 years in business. Located on Main Street, Milton Bay, Mezzaluna specializes in Italian cuisine, a luxury and the best meal in town, and serves
Joey Matulovic readies for his second inning of work. Set down the Anglers 1, 2, 3 in the first, so they'll start with their cleanup hitter, designated hitter Kyle McCann. And the first pitch runs outside to him. Count goes to 1-0. McCann, another one of the Yellow Jackets from Georgia Tech. They had 3 of them in their lineup on opening night, as he's going to cut through this pitch. Evens the count at 1-1. Does have some baseball ties. His dad, Joe McCann, was once a prospect for the New York Mets as a pitcher. He's going to take this pitch inside for ball 2, 2-1. And like his teammate Tristan English was first team All-ACC. McCann second team All-ACC in 2018, as he's going to foul this one off. That runs the count to 2-2. Matulovic rocks and fires the 2-2. Check swing on a pitch up high. And they are going to say he went around. That's the 3rd strikeout of the day for Joey Matulovic. He sits down Kyle McCann. And there's one gone with the bases empty here in the second inning. Oklahoma State's Colin Simpson, the left fielder, will step in for the left side and will swing at the first pitch and rope it into right field past the outstretched Lyle Lockhart for a base hit. So Simpson with the first hit off Matulovic here tonight, comes with 1 out in the second inning. Trying to work on a 128 batting average. And from Edmond, Oklahoma. Now Ben Ramirez, normally the shortstop for Chatham, playing third base tonight. Will step in from the left side also. And he'll take the first one up about letter high and inside for ball 1. Ramirez, 278 on the Cape League year. No extra base hits, but 5 RBI. He's going to pop this one into left field, moving back a couple steps and to his left is the left fielder Bryant Packard, and he will routinely catch that fly ball. And there are 2 gone in the Chatham half of the second inning. Now the catcher will come to the plate, the former Wareham Gateman Blake Sable. A 211 average on the year, but has poured in a couple of homers and 4 RBI. In fact, his only extra base hits are the 2 homers this year for the Anglers. First pitch to Matulovic, is going to be fouled straight back. Sable, the junior from Aliso Viejo, California, played in 34 games for Wareham last year and hit just 177, but hit 2 homers and had 8 RBI. He is going to lift this one into left field. Bryant Packard will chase it down on the run. 1 hops to him. And the throw will come into second, and Sable, with some heads-up base running, is going to get in there. See how they score it, but it should be a straight-up double for Blake Sable. And after the Gatemen score in their half of the first inning, Chatham looking to respond in the second. They've got men at second and third and 2 outs off of Joey Matulovic. Adam Fogel is the man it will fall to in this inning. And for Fogel, it's been a massive struggle this year on the Cape. Just a 118 average, only 1 RBI on the year. First pitch is a beauty on the outside corner for a called strike. Did drive in 37 for the Rainbow Warriors of Hawaii, along with 8 homers. A couple of ducks in the scoring position pond right here, and he will foul this one off to the right and out of play. This count goes to 0-2 very quickly on him. Here's the 0-2, going to be fouled straight back off the Lang Forest and Bullard advertisement behind home plate. So that's where the count will stay, 0-2 with 2 outs. And men at second and third for Chatham here in the second. Change up on the outside corner, swung on and missed by Fogel, and Matulovic battles back and leaves 2 stranded in scoring position. We're through an inning and a half here from Spillane Field, 1-0 Gatemen here on WCTV.
We have the bundle discounts, the accident forgiveness, the finishing deductible, no loss, etc. But unlike those other gaming companies, we can quote you with multiple carriers. So forget the lizard in the price tool and come talk to a professional. We're number 1 for you.
Founded in 1854, Wareham
Back here for the second inning on WCTV. Gatemen looking to build on a 1-0 lead. They scored the lone run, of course, in the first off a couple of hits. It was the first run allowed by Hunter Gaddis all year. The first pitch is a disappearing changeup on the outside corner that's cut on and missed by Oliver Dunn, who gets the start today at second base, has found himself into the lineup a little more regularly. This pitch is going to miss down low and evens the count at 1-1. You got to imagine he and Isaac Collins will be splitting the time over there at second. Valenzuela in a more natural position at shortstop tonight for the Gatemen. This pitch going to miss down low, so the count runs into Dunn's favor, 3-1. And this one going to run inside to Oliver Dunn. So after Gaddis gave up his first walk of the year in the first, his first run allowed on the Cape League, he now issues his second free pass. This time it goes to Oliver Dunn. The man who is struggling at the plate finds his way on base to lead things off here in the second. From a guy who was struggling to a guy who was, Luke Roscom, the catcher, has looked very good his past few starts at catcher for the Gatemen. He's put some much better swings on the ball recently, and he was putting on a show in batting practice today. See if it's able to carry over into the game as he's behind in the count, no balls and a strike. 0-1 is going to be nubbed towards third base, and it's a tough play, and there's really no play for Ben Ramirez at third base. So when I talk about Luke Roscom putting on a show in a batting practice, he was hitting homers and he was sending them out to the gaps here at Spillane. That time finds a different way to get on base with a single that didn't even make it halfway down the third baseline. But nonetheless, the first 2 men are on here in the second inning, and the Gatemen are looking to pick up where they left off back in the first. Of course, they did have 12 hits last night in Hyannis. but we're only able to push across 1 run against the Harbor Hawks. Squaring around to bunt is Skylar Hunter. First pitch is going to miss up and away, so Hunter's ahead of the count 1-0. He's a guy who's looking to get going down at the bottom of the lineup as well. 120 average for him, and he's in a sacrifice situation as he squared to bunt again, but Gaddis will fake a throw back to second base. Ramirez is well on the grass in third. Of course, Tristan English, the first baseman as well, will creep all the way in. But Hunter has been unable to get it down yet, as Gaddis is going to miss inside this time. And Hunter's ahead of the count 2-0. Hunter will get it down, but will foul it back. So even with the Gatemen center fielder and a nice hitter's count at 2-0, the guy who's struggling to locate all of a sudden, he keeps the bunt on and gives Gaddis a strike the easy way. Battle once again, will square, this time will get it down. Ramirez, who is well out on the grass, will have it, and he's not going to be able to get the ball out of his glove. A routine bunt play there by Ben Ramirez, and he just completely botches it. Gotta think that's going to go down as an E5 on a sacrifice attempt. So even better for the Gatemen. They were expecting to have men at second and third with 1 out. Instead, they have the bases loaded with nobody out. And the top of the order coming up here in Jeremy Idens. First pitch is going to miss up high to Idens. Didn't look that bad on the fastball, but it is ball 1. He's 0 for 1 today. Struck out in the first inning, did Idens. But is still, even in the slump he is in, has a .343 average on the Cape League season. 7 RBI. He's going to pop this one foul off to the right and out of play. So the count evens at 1-1. No homers for Idens on the year, but 3 doubles make up his 12 hits. He's now up to 8 strikeouts, not something he did very much during the season for the UCLA Bruins. That number has started to pick up in the last few days for Wareham. 1-1 home. This one's going to catch him. On the bicep, he will take it, and he will get an RBI in an easy but painful way as he trots down to first base, and coming home is Oliver Dunn, and with still nobody out in the inning, bases are still loaded and a run is in for Wareham. It's 2-0 Gatemen over the Anglers here in the second inning. Will fall now to Heat Valenzuela in the same position that Idens came up in. Valenzuela 1 for 1. He already has a sharp single that he hit back in the first inning. Fielder Colin Simpson creeps in on him. The first pitch is going to miss outside for a ball. They're definitely playing him to pull, as John Rave, the center fielder, is more than a couple steps over to right field. Everyone playing shallow. Valenzuela's going to knock this one up the middle again, and it's another base hit to center field. Roscom will score. Hunter chugging around, no throw to the plate. He will score. And it's a 2-run single for Sahid Valenzuela, and the Gatemen are starting to pour it on. It's now 4-0 here in the second. So the wheels have come off Hunter Gaddis, who did not have a run to his name allowed coming into this game. Now all of a sudden he is spotted forward to the Gatemen in an inning plus. There's still nobody out here. And runners at first and second for Austin Shenton. It was no easy out. He does not have an official at bat. He walked in the first inning. Takes a big cut at the first pitch, and it's a nice breaking ball from Gaddis on the outside corner for a swinging strike one. One is going to miss down low and inside, evens the count at a ball and a strike. For Shenton, he's trying to build on the 9 RBI he has this year. Also drew his 7th walk back in the first inning. We'll take this one outside, and he's getting close to another one. He's out of the count, 2-1. Gonna miss outside. Shenton's further ahead of the count, 3-1. Everything outside, as we have become accustomed to. If he is to get on with the free pass, it would be his 8th walk of the year, as opposed to 10 strikeouts for tonight's designated hitter, normally third baseman for the Gatemen. He's swinging on 3-1 and will keep Gaddis alive in the at-bat as he fouls this one off to the left and out of play. So the count runs full to 3-2. Shouldn't be surprised to see Austin Shenton in that DH position a lot more this summer. Paven Parks coming in to play third. You'll remember Shenton did have a minor injury in the first week of the season, fouling a ball off his knee, and although minor, you definitely want to keep him from re-aggravating that in a summer league season. He's going to bloop this one into center field. It's going to get down for a hit. Brave comes up with it, and after a big turn around third base coach Mike Mobbs is going to stop Jeremy Idens there. So no RBI for Shenton that time, but he gets aboard with another hit, building off that .419 average. And once again, the bases are loaded for the Gatemen in this inning, and once again, nobody is out. And that will be the night for Hunter Gaddis. One that he'll want to forget. We'll give you that new pitcher coming in for the Anglers after this break here on WCTV. We are back here from Spillane, and was already a long bottom of the second inning. The Gatemen have pushed 3 across on 3 hits. In fact, all 5 of the hits today for the Gatemen have been singles. The first pitch is going to miss down low to Bryant Packard. And the new pitcher on the mound is Troy Miller, the Michigan Wolverine, who does have some Cape League experience. He started last year for the Sanford Mainers in the NECBL, and then joined Brewster at the end of the year, and actually closed out the Cape League Championship with the final 2 innings relief of Game 3 against Bourne. This one's going to be popped up to shallow center field. Ray's going to haul it in, but it is not shallow enough to keep Idens from going, and he will tag up and score. The 3rd sacrifice fly for Bryant Packard on the year, and after the throw gets away, 2 more runners will advance, 2 more men in scoring position. That is now 5-0 Wareham here in the second inning.
First baseman for Houston, number 18, live.
And with the Gatemen pouring it on here in a long second inning, the lights have already come on. Bottom of the second. Lyle Lockhart will come in now. Add an RBI single to get things started for the Gatemen in the first inning. They have already tacked on 4, and with just 1 out in the frame, they're looking for more. First pitch is on the inside corner from Miller for a strike. For Miller this year, he does have another one of these guys with a 0 ERA in his 2 appearances. One of them was a start. So he's not allowed to run in 5 innings pitched. Going to drop this breaking ball in the bucket for a called strike 2. 0-2 to Lockhart. Has given up a couple of runs, but none of them earned, and has walked 3 in the 5 innings, struck out 7. This one going to ramp up high. Count goes to 1-2. He made 19 appearances for the Wolverines this year in the Big Ten, an 0-2 record with a 3.38 ERA. And opponents hit just 197 against him. Breaking pitch that Lockhart's going to wait on and will foul it off to the left. So he stays in there at 1-2, does the first baseman from Houston. So 1 out, the infield is in a 5-0 ball game here in the second. Runners lead off of second and third, a big lead at second for Austin Shenton, but this a disappearing breaking pitch inside and in the dirt, and looking foolish as Lyle Lockhart on the swing and miss. And he goes down swinging. First strikeout of the day for Troy Miller. And there's 2 away with still 2 men on for the Gatemen, and Paven Parks with another RBI opportunity. Flew out to second base, and Jorge Arenas to end the first inning, leaving 2 Gatemen stranded. And he's going to loop this one into center field. Coming on hard is Rave, and a nice sliding catch. The center fielder will make the catch that ends the inning. But the Gatemen add 4 in the second. It's 5-0 Wareham here on WCTV.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's time to play tonight's 50-50 round. Your chance to win prizes in support of the game. Prizes tonight include a Waterways all-day pass for 2, a PC Network Guide, which all models will be in authority, Golf Club, horses, and a car. That will let you decide
into the third inning we go. The Gatemen have built onto their lead. It's 5-0 the score, as Jorge Arenas, the second baseman who bats ninth tonight, will get his first look at Joey Matulovic, who is out for his third inning of work. And will take that pitch about eye high, and will even the count at a ball and a strike. Matulovic gave up a couple of hits last inning, but left guy stranded at second and third for Chatham. This pitch will run up and away, so count will now run to 2-1. Also for Matulovic, 4 strikeouts out of the 6 outs he's made so far. 2-1, going to miss outside, so run that count even further in Arenas' favor. 3 balls and a strike. The sophomore from Stetson University were knocked out by North Carolina in the Super Regionals. A terrific year for the Hatters. And Arenas finds a way to get on base as he will take the pitch inside. 5-pitch walk sends him down. The leadoff man is aboard. The number 9 man, no less, for the Anglers. And now it'll flip back up to the top of the order with John Rave, the center fielder. We'll take this one outside, so 5 straight delivered out of the strike zone from Matulovic, and that will bring his catcher Luke Roscom out. Make sure they are on the same page. Quick meeting between the two. Going to miss up high, so the conversation not paying dividends just yet as this one runs to 2-0, and Luke Roscom will come out, Jim Lawler will come out, and we're going to have our first meeting on the mound today with Joey Matulovic. There is no one warming up in the Gatemen bullpen, so it will be Matulovic's day at least for a little while longer. Rave, of course, made the great catch in center field that ended the arduous last inning for the Anglers, retiring the Gatemen and leaving men at second and third. He looks to contribute on the offensive side of things here. Jorge Arenas is on at first with nobody out. Elevated pitch that's cut on and missed by Rave. Matulovic finally able to get a strike on him. It's 2-1. Two-one home is going to be popped up, but will be foul and will get out of play. No chance for Roscom as it goes near the press box here at Spillane Field, and the count evens at 2 balls and 2 strikes to John Rave. 2-2 is going to be popped up foul. Roscom will give chase, but once again, this one will get out of play. So that's where the count will stay. With nobody out, a man on first. A 5-0 game in the third inning in favor of your Wareham Gatemen. Two is going to be spoiled straight back once again. So Rave sticking in there after he looked foolish on a strikeout against Matulovic in the first inning is really making him work in his second at-bat here in the third. Runner takes a few steps back, and this one's going to be popped out towards right center, and tracking it down is Skylar Hunter rather cavalierly. And going back to first base is Jorge Arenas. John Rave's 0 for 2, and he represents the first out here in the third inning. Greg Jones, the shortstop, will now step in from UNC Wilmington. 481 OPS for him on the year. Take the first pitch outside for ball 1, so Matulovic has fallen behind in the count to every hitter so far this inning. This one is going to foul it off, so Matulovic is battling back. being down 1-0. He evens it at a ball and a strike. Last time we saw him was out of relief. Was Matulovic last Thursday at Bourne. After a rough start from Mason Fioli, it was Matulovic who kept them in the game at 3-1. They were able to come back and tie at 3-3 before Bourne took the fatal 4-3 lead, as this one is going to be popped out to left field, and running back on it is Bryant Packard. Never looked quite comfortable getting under it, but he is able to make the catch for out number 2. Greg Jones is retired for the second time tonight. And Tristan English looks to keep the inning alive after Jorge Arenas walked to lead off the inning. He has not advanced past first base after a couple of flyouts. English behind the count 0-1 after the foul ball there. He's hitting .394 on the year with a homer and 8 RBI, so not a bad guy to fill in that Spencer Torkelson spot, batting third. This one going to be dropped right in there by Matulovic for a called strike 2. After that leadoff walk, he's one pitch away from getting out of it. The 0-2. Reaching out to get it is English, but will foul it off to the right and out of play. Couple of doubles and a homer for the Chatham first baseman on the year to go with those 8 RBI. So 2 for 3 on the base paths. 1-2 is going to be outside. Snap throw down by Roscom. It's a close play, but diving back in there safely is Arenas. A riskier, very willing to take with a 5-0 lead. Try and catch them sleeping on the base paths. Good throw down by Roscom, but just not in time. Arenas leads off of first base. 1-2, 2 outs. Runner goes, but it's going to be slapped down the third base line and past the diving Parks and into left field for a base hit. It's bobbled out there by Packard, so because of that, they're going to send Arenas home, and the throw is going to be offline, and Arenas will score. So what will almost undoubtedly go down as a single and an error allows Tristan English to get to second base and a run to come in. So cutting into the lead are the Anglers. It's now Wareham 5 and Chatham 1 as they get one across with 2 outs in the third. That's something we're accustomed to seeing from Bryant Packard. He's been so solid defensively in left field. But he botches one there as the first pitch is going to dip low and into Kyle McCann. Second of 2 consecutive Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets to come to the plate. Tulovic looks at second, comes home with it. It's going to be grounded hard towards second base, but Oliver Dunn will move over to his left and will make the throw on that retires the side. Anglers get one back in a shutdown inning in the third. It's now just 5-1 Gatemen here on WCTV. To the bottom of the third we go. Chatham with a lifeline and an answer in the top half, plating a run to make it 5-1. After the Gatemen batted around in the second and brought 4 men in, Oliver Dunn will come up. Second baseman from Utah, going to swing at the first pitch and foul it off to the left and out of play. He got things started in that 4-run second inning with a lead-off walk, so no official at-bat today for Dunn. Take this pitch on the outside corner for a called strike. Count now goes to 0-2 on him. Troy Miller, for his second inning of relief, will drop this one on the inside corner, a called strike 3. Dunn didn't like the call, but good morning, good afternoon, and good night. Sets him down with a backwards K, and the first man is retired for Miller here in the third inning. Luke Roscom, the catcher from Nebraska, will stride to the plate. With 1 out and nobody on, he's hitting just 176 on the year. No homers, but 4 RBI. Take the first pitch up high. 4-1 back in the second inning. He plunked a single in a way I don't think he's very used to. It went about halfway down the third baseline. It was a long run for Ben Ramirez, and they had no shot to get the catcher Roscom. He's ahead of the count 2-0 this time against Troy Miller. The over fastball is going to get in there on the outside corner for a called strike 1-2-1. 1 out and nobody on for the Gatemen. Roscom will offer at the 2-1 and will foul it off to the left and out of play by the high school. Count evens at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Two-two. Can't get Roscom to chase on the pitch low and in. The ball in the dirt from Miller, so count now runs to 3-2 to the Gatemen catcher. Payoff pitch is going to be socked up the middle into center field for a sharp single from Luke Roscom, who is 2 for 2 on the day. Looking to build on that average that sits well below the Mendoza line. This will certainly help. A couple of singles. This one a little bit, hit a little more harder than his one back in the second inning, but they'll both look like line drives in the box score tomorrow. And with 1 out and a man aboard, be Skylar Hunter, the center fielder and the number 9 man in the lineup. Switch hitter batting left will step in. First pitch swinging, and it puts a charge into this one. It looked like it was destined for the gap, but getting over there is Adam Fogel to run it down in right field. A tough luck out by Skylar Hunter. He gets back to the dugout representing the second out of the inning. And we're back to the top of the order in Jeremy Idens, who will have his 3rd plate appearance in this just the 3rd inning. 2 out and a man on first. This pitch in the dirt, and going on it is Roscom. A good throw down is going to get him. Luke Roscom, the aggressiveness does not pay off on the base paths this time, and he will be the 3rd out of the inning. Still 5-1 Gatemen here on WCTV. we are on to the fourth here at Spillane Field. It's still Joey Matulovic out on the mound. Had a couple of long innings, but has been effective. He's only allowed one run to cross. Colin Simpson will lead things off, the cleanup man, or excuse me, the number 5 hitter in the lineup, the Oklahoma State Cowboy. Stand in after he hit a solid single to right in his first time up. Fall behind in the count 0-1 here. Simpson, one of 2 Oklahoma State Cowboys for the Anglers. The other, Jake Taylor, who we have not, is not in the starting lineup today. We'll follow this one straight back to fall behind 0-2. Struck out 13 times this year in his 47 at-bats to just 1 walk, does Simpson. And he is going to go down fairly quickly on 3 pitches. An elevated fastball is going to get the swing and the miss there from Matulovic. And along with it, the 5th strikeout of the game, Colin Simpson, his latest victim for the first out here in the 4th. Ben Ramirez steps up. The USC Trojan will take the first pitch, letter high and inside. 4-1. He's had a couple of multi-hit games against the Gatemen this year, including in that 6-3 loss to Wareham at Spillane Field last week. His pitch in there for a called strike on the outside corner, evens the count at 1-1. Big swing and a miss on an off-speed pitch from Matulovic. And he's ahead 1-2 to Ramirez. And from Chula Vista, California, hitting .278 on the year. He's going to rope this one to left field, but already playing shallow is Bryant Packard, and he's going to come in on it. Didn't have to move laterally at all. He comes in and makes the catch for out number 2. 2 up and 2 down so far in the 4th inning for Matulovic. We'll see if it is his last or if he goes to the 5th. Nathan Florence from Hartford is warming up in the Gatemen bullpen. So this could very well be the last frame for Matulovic. Big swing and a miss there from Blake Sable. It was 1 for 1 today. He doubled in the 2nd. Colin Simpson was unable to score on the play, and they were both left stranded by Adam Fogel, the man who waits on deck. This time Sable turns to bunt. Matulovic off fielding his position very effectively, and he does not catch Matulovic sleeping as he throws on to first for the final out. We head to the bottom of the 4th here at Spillane Field. Still 5-1 Gatemen on WCTV. Troy Miller back out there for his third inning of work, his team trailing 5-1. Jeremy Idens, who was at the plate to end the last inning as Luke Roscom was gunned down trying to steal second, will lead things off in the fourth. So he will take the first pitch just outside for a ball, 1-0. Idens is going to foul this pitch off to the right and out of play. So we are setting on nightfall here in Wareham. The lights have been on since the bottom of the second, which was the big inning for the Gatemen, a 4-run frame. Miller faced the minimum in the third after Roscom was gunned down after his second single of the day. Two and one is the count. Idens will fly it out towards right field. Fogel is on his horse, and it is going to get down, but it will be a foul ball. Right on the line there for the right fielder from Hawaii, as he was chugging to catch up to it and almost made a terrific play. But nonetheless, the count stands at 2-2. Miller comes to the set. 2-2 is going to miss outside to Idens. Count runs full at 3-2, trying to reach base for the second time today. He's 0 for 1, but he reached on a hit by pitch back in the second. Full count offering, great pitch, breaking ball on the outside corner, and Idens will go down with a K for the second time today. One swinging and now one looking. He leads off with a strikeout here in the bottom of the fourth inning for Wareham, ahead of Sahid Valenzuela. It's been a good start for Valenzuela tonight. 2 at-bats, 2 for 2, 2 RBI as well. A 2-run single in the second. He comes on with 1 out, nobody on base. First pitch to him is going to miss down low for a ball, 1-0. Pitch going to miss up letter high and inside, so Valenzuela is ahead of the count, 2-0. He's going to bounce this one on the ground towards the first baseline, but foul. So gets one back. It's now 2-1 the count for the shortstop from Cal State Fullerton. At 375, hitting 375 so far this summer on the Cape League. 1 RBI coming into today came from his solo homer to left field against Brewster here on Saturday. He's going to pop this one in foul ground. Moving over is the third baseman, though, and Ben Ramirez will track it down. And for the first time tonight, Sahid Valenzuela is retired. First 2 men are gone, and there's 2 outs here in the bottom of the fourth inning for the Gatemen. So with 2 outs, it'll be Austin Shenton who comes to the plate. He's reached base twice today. A walk and a single in each of his first 2 at-bats in the first and second, respectively. He is ahead of the count here. 1 ball, no strikes, with 2 outs and nobody aboard. This one, not a bad looking pitch, but unable to hold on to it is Sable, the catcher. So it'll drop and it'll be taken for a ball. It's 2-0. Gatemen getting off to a big lead like they haven't done very much in the last week and a half. Sans the first game of the doubleheader on Sunday against YD at Red Wilson Field. They jumped out to an 8-0 lead in that one, a game they went on to win 10-4. The 3-0 and a get me over pitch does not get over, so Miller delivers a 4-pitch walk with 2 outs to Austin Shenton. It's the second one he has drawn today. The Gatemen have a base runner now in each of the first 4 innings. Ahead of Bryant Packard, the left fielder, made an uncharacteristic error that basically allowed a run to score for the Anglers. Their only run of the game. It's back in the 3rd inning. He's going to get a hold of this one. Deep right center field, and looking up is Fogel, and that one clears easily for Bryant Packard. A 2-run homer for the ECU Pirate. It's his 2nd of the year, 2nd in 4 days for Packard. And the Gatemen extend the lead 7-1 over Chatham here in the bottom of the 4th inning. After the first 2 men were retired rather quickly in this frame, Austin Shenton with the 4-pitch walk and 4 bases from Bryant Packard. A long pulled home run to right field. Gatemen have scored in 3 of the 4 innings today. 7-1 is the score, as this pitch is going to miss up high to Lyle Lockhart. Count now goes to 1-1 with 2 outs, and now the base is cleared. Lockhart is going to absolutely rip this one down the right field line, and Fogel will get in front of it, and because of that and his good positioning in right field, Lockhart will have to hold up with a long, solid base hit. And the inning keeps chugging along for the Gatemen ahead of Paven Parks. Parks is 0 for 2 today in his Gatemen debut. His first start for Wareham. He did come in as defensive replacement last night. Did the junior from Uniontown, Ohio. First offering he's going to cut on again, and he's looking at an 0 for 3 as he's going to pop it up. John Rave will come in on it, and the short-handed center fielder will make the catch for out number 3. The Gatemen add 2 more on a Bryant Packard 2-run homer and lead Chatham 7-1 here on WCTV as we head to the 5th. It's still Joey Matulovic as we move to the 5th. His Gatemen with a 7-1 lead over Chatham. Welcome in if you are just joining us here on WCTV. I'm Cameron Stewart, bringing you the broadcast solo tonight. First pitch to Adam Fogel is going to be upstairs, but Fogel went around on his check swing. So the count is at 0-1. gets him to chase on another pitch on the outside corner, this time low from Matulovic. He is quickly ahead of Adam Fogel, 0-2. Matulovic has just allowed 3 hits today in the 1 run, so has struck out 5. Waste pitch on 0-2 is going to run outside. Count now goes to 1-2. One of those strikeout victims was Fogel back in the 2nd inning. Biggest threat for the Anglers as he left men at 2nd and 3rd in what was just a 1-0 ball game then. This one's going to be skied out to right and a chase by Idens, but it will get out of play. So he stands in there at 1-2. One, two, going to be fouled off out of play again. Fogel will stay in there. The man from the University of Hawaii with just a 118 average on the Cape League season. 2 hits, none for extra bases, but has delivered an RBI. Only has a 111 on base percentage. He's going to pop this one up in foul territory, moving over his Lockhart. It looks like he has some room and will make an over-the-shoulder catch in foul ground. Lockhart might have lost it up in the lights for a moment, but is able to reach across his body and over the shoulder. And the first baseman from Houston makes an impressive play for the first out of the 5th inning. First pitch cut on and missed there to Jorge Arenas. He reached his first time up back in the 3rd inning, reached via a walk. It's the only one Matulovic has given out today. He will take this pitch up high. 4-1, 1-1. Mentioned earlier it was a great year for Arenas' Stetson Hatters. He started 55 of the 56 games during the season. Take a mighty cut at a pitch up in the zone. Count now goes to 1-2. He also had an adventurous journey to get his 100th hit for the Hatters, as he's going to take it on the outside corner for strike 3, so I'll let you know that his next time up. It is the 6th strikeout for Matulovic today. This time sends down Arenas looking. And there's 2 gone here in the 5th inning. As we flip up to the top of the scorecard, and the center fielder John Rave will step in. His first pitch up by the shoestrings. Ahead of the count, 1-0. This one outside. Rave ahead of the count, 2-0. He's 0 for 2 though today. Struck out back in the 1st. Flew out to Skylar Hunter in center field back in the 3rd. 2-0 is going to be bounced right at the Gatemen dugout. So foul ball, runs it now to 2-1. Rave, the center fielder from Illinois State, nearing 400 on the year in batting average, 387. And he will pop this one up to right field. It's Dunn coming out, Idens coming in, but it will be the second baseman, Dunn, who will make the catch. That will end the inning. It's still 7-1 Gatemen, and what could be the night for Joey Matulovic as we head to the bottom of the 5th here on WCTV. We are now back here for the bottom of the 5th inning, and as you saw in between innings, our question of the day: who was the last Gatemen manager to lead Wareham to a CCBL title? That answer is going to be revealed in the middle of the 6th inning, so stay tuned for that. We've got a new pitcher on the mound for the Anglers. Davis Daniel from Auburn will come on, and it's his first appearance out of the bullpen for Chatham this year, second appearance overall. In his one start, he pitched 4 innings, only allowed 1 hit, and nobody scored. Struck out 6, did the Auburn Tiger, so he does not have an ERA and an 0-0 record. As he comes into a very different situation than he's used to. His team's down 7-1 here in the bottom of the 5th, and Oliver Dunn will stand in and take his first pitch on the inside corner for a called strike. Dunn is 0 for 1 today, but reached on a walk in the 2nd inning. Down on a looking strikeout on 3 pitches in the 3rd. This one going to miss down low to Dunn. Count runs to 2-1. Dunn from Utah, just a 107 average and 2 RBI on the year. He's going to take that pitch down low for a ball as well, so 3-1. But did homer against the Anglers on opening night at Veterans Field in Chatham. His only homer of the year is only 2 RBI. But he will take this pitch outside, and he has reached base for the 2nd time tonight without the benefit of a hit. It's his 2nd walk drawn. Ahead of a guy who has 2 hits tonight. Luke Roscom, the catcher, will now stand in. With nobody out and a man on first for Wareham, trying to build on to a pretty sizable 6-run lead. First offering to Roscom, he sticks with the heavy hacks he's had tonight and was unable to connect at that high fastball, so he's behind in the count 0-1. Home, runners going, and because Sable is unable to hold on to the pitch, Oliver Dunn will get in there without even a throw, and Dunn will reach 2nd base. They've got a man in scoring position once again with nobody out. It's the first stolen base of the year for the 2nd baseman from Utah. Luke Roscom, if he's able to get his 3rd single of the day, will likely drive Dunn in if it's in the outfield. This one's going to be down low and in the dirt. So Roscom ahead of the count 2-1. Offering to him is going to be poked to the right side. It's the first baseman English, who will underhand to the pitcher Daniel for a 3-1 putout. Dunn will advance to 3rd base. And there's 1 man gone, and a runner 90 feet away from home plate for the center fielder, Skylar Hunter, who struggles with the bat continue. He is 0 for 2 today, but did reach on an error in the 2nd inning on a sacrifice bunt attempt that Ben Ramirez was unable to handle at 3rd. First pitch, breaking pitch, low and inside. This count runs in Hunter's favor, 1-0. 1-0 is going to be right down Main Street for a called strike 1, evens things. At a ball and a strike with 1 out, and Oliver Dunn leading off of 3rd base. One is going to be painted on the outside corner for a called strike 2. Now Hunter in the hole 1 and 2. Last thing he wants to do is strike out here. The man on third and 1 out. He struck out 15 times so far this year, as opposed to only 3 walks. And make that strikeout number 16 as he goes down swinging. Hunter back to the bench with the second out of the 5th inning, so now it becomes a whole lot harder for them to bring that run across. But Dunn still at third. Jeremy Idens, the leadoff man, will come up. He's 0 for 2 today. Struck out swinging in the first, struck out looking in the fourth, and sandwiched in there is an RBI hit by pitch. He's going to foul this one off to the right and out of play. One home is going to be down in the dirt, and halfway up the line was Oliver Dunn, but he backs off after Sable looks him back down to third base. Gatemen ahead 7-1 here in the bottom of the 5th inning on WCTV. Trying to end a 2-game skid after losing the back end of the doubleheader at YD on Sunday and losing convincingly at McKeon Park in Hyannis yesterday 9-1 to the Harbor Hawks. And Idens is behind in the count 1 and 2 with 2 outs and the man on third. One, two on the outside corner, called strike 3. The hat trick for Idens tonight, his 3rd strikeout of the game. 7-1, still our score here from Spillane Field as we head to the 6th inning on WCTV. And as we head to the 6th inning from Spillane Field, the night for Joey Matulovic is done, but an impressive one, as he only allowed 1 run in 5 innings of work. 1 run scored on 3 hits. He also struck out 6 and walked just 1. First pitch misses to Greg Jones from Nathan Florence, the new pitcher from Hartford and Wilbraham, Mass. He has appeared in 2 games, no starts for him, both in relief as he falls behind 2-0. Has a 10.80 ERA, has given up 4 earned and 3 1/3. Has walked 5 and struck out 5 in his tenure with the Gatemen this season. He battles one back and gets the count to 2-1. Jones is going to turn on this one and hit an absolute rocket to right field, no doubt about it. It clears both fences in right field here at Spillane. And Greg Jones puts an absolute hurting into one, a solo homer for him. It's his third of the year, the man from UNC Wilmington. And it is now 7-2 Gatemen. Not the way you want to start your night if you're Nathan Florence. Still with a comfortable 5-run lead, though. Now Tristan English, another man who's got some serious pop. First pitch swinging. This one out to deep left center field. Both Hunter and Packard on their horses, but this one will clear the fence as well. Homers on back-to-back pitches for the Anglers. And they further cut into the Gatemen lead. It is now 7-3 as Tristan English goes yard and Chatham goes back-to-back. This one with a little more doubt up to it as it just cleared the fence. Both Hunter and Packard converged. But for English, it's his second homer of the year, his 9th RBI. And definitely not the way you want to start if you're Nathan Florence. A couple more hits and the Anglers could be right back in the ball game. And he's back down 1-0 to Kyle McCann, the DH. This one will miss as well, so Florence unable to locate on the inside half. It's behind the count, 2 balls and no strikes. Swing and a miss there, gets one back for Florence. It's 2-1. The man from Hartford made 15 starts on the year with a 4-5 record. 3.78 ERA, 93 strikeouts in just 85 2/3 innings pitched. And this one's going to be skied out towards right center. It should stay in the ballpark though, as Idens on the quasi-warning track here in right center field at Spillane will track it down and make the catch for out number 1. 3 long fly balls to start off the inning. For the Anglers, there's 1 out and nobody on. For Oklahoma State's Colin Simpson. First offering to him is going to be a breaking pitch on the outside corner for a called strike. I've seen 3 homers in this game, 2 from Chatham, 1 from Bryant Packard for the Gatemen. Simpson holds up on this pitch from Florence, and it's a pretty good-looking breaking ball on the inside half. It was held there by Roscom, but to no avail. It's ball 1. Now Simpson will get a hold of this one to left center field. Packard tracking it back, but will get under it and will make the nice running catch for out number 2 here in the 6th. So 4 batters, 4 pretty deep fly balls for the Anglers this inning off of Florence. Tries to buckle down and face Ben Ramirez, a man who does not have an extra base hit this year for Chatham. And he will swing and miss at the first offering. Count now goes to 0-1 with 2 outs and nobody aboard. This one got to nip the inside corner, called strike. Runs things quickly to 0-2. Try to get him to chase on a fastball up high, but Ramirez stays put. Count now runs to 1-2 to the man who has become good friends with Bryant Packard tonight. A couple of flyouts to left field. He's 0 for 2. And this one will bounce in the dirt and cannot get Ramirez to fish. Count evens at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Two-two, going to be fouled straight back, so that's where things will stay. Here's the 2-2 with 2 outs. This one's going to ramp up high. And Ramirez was behind the count 0-2, has battled it back to full. Nobody on the base paths, all the infielders playing back on him. Payoff pitch, got to twist him around and a swing and a miss, strike 3 for First strikeout for Florence on the night, but he gives up 2 solo bombs in the inning. And the Anglers have cut the lead now to 7-3 here on WCTV.
Located in downtown Middleborough, Massachusetts. TM Riders' goal is to find the best coverage at a fair rate for their customers. They really value getting the best service they can provide. Visit the office on Thatcher's Road, used like P&C insurance information, quotes, and policies.
The Gatemen would like to thank Ken Wild, the trustees of John Wild Charitable Trust, for their continued support of Gatemen baseball in Wareham. Village Signs and Medicals. They do it all, from logo design, trucks and buildings to books. Village Signs has proudly served Southern New England for over 35 years. Visit them at villagesigns.com for all your sign needs.
Now we head on to the bottom of the 6th inning. 7-3 is our new score here on WCTV. If you played our question of the day, you saw that the answer came up in the last half inning. It would of course be Cooper Ferris was the last manager to win the CCBL title for Wareham. That back in the year of 2012. Very memorable season. Gatemen were able to capture the championship at Red Wilson Field, where they were on Sunday, in a dramatic extra inning victory for them in Game 3, the decisive game of the series. Playoff MVP that year, you might have heard of him, Kyle Schwarber for Wareham. First pitch to Sahid Valenzuela of the 2018 Gatemen will be fouled off to the right and out of play, to the left and out of play. Valenzuela 2 for 3 tonight. A single in each of the first 2 innings. And will rocket this one into the Anglers' dugout. Everyone ducking down there. And Valenzuela, a couple of foul balls to the left, and he is behind the count 0-2 to Davis Daniel. The Auburn Tiger came in last inning. Did not allow a run to come across, though he did have a base runner. He walked the first hitter he saw, and Oliver Dunn. So going to be popped up to center field, and the new center fielder is Greg Jones, who will make that catch. A couple of substitutions defensively. Rankin Woley will go into second base for the Anglers, and Jorge Arenas moves over to shortstop. Valenzuela's retired. Austin Shenton will come up to the plate. His first time he sees Davis Daniel, he's going to foul it off the light standard, and it continues to go up and will fall harmlessly into foul territory on the third base side. Shenton 1 for 1 today. He comes to the plate for the 4th time here in the 6th. He's also walked twice. He will line this one foul straight back. 1 out. He's quickly behind in the count 0-2. Daniel, a long look in, and now comes home with the 0-2. This one going to run inside, backing Shenton off the plate. Count now at a ball and 2 strikes. Or excuse me, that is going to clip Shenton. It just gets a piece of him. From our vantage point in left field, didn't look like it, but obviously we're a ways away from the plate, and Shenton will reach base for the 4th time tonight, and still just 1 for 1. An hit by pitch on his record after a couple of walks. He's aboard with 1 out in front of Bryant Packard. This pitch down low for ball 1 to the Gatemen left fielder. With the loss last night in Hyannis, Wareham relinquishing the top spot in the Western Division for the first time all year, as the Harbor Hawks were able to take it with the victory. 1-0 home. Packard going to take it on the outside corner for a called strike, evens things at 1-1. One to him, is going to catch the outside corner, so now Packard down in the count 1-2. So he was 1 for 2 today. He flew out to center field in the first, flew out again to center field in the second, but that was good enough for a sacrifice fly. And then the 2-run homer in the 4th. He's going to take a mighty hack on a pitch outside and will not connect, so he strikes out for the first time today. And there's 2 out here in the bottom of the 6th inning for Wareham. Lyle Lockhart will come up to the plate with a man on first base. The Houston Cougar is 2 for 3 today. A couple of singles and a strikeout for him. He's going to take this first pitch on the outside corner for a called strike 1. Lockhart coming into today, hitting just 133, but definitely going to add to that. Adds an RBI to his total as that single drove in a run back in the first inning. This one's going to eat up Sable inside, and that actually ricocheted off of Lockhart's foot on the way in. So the second close call, but the second hit batsman of the inning, puts Lyle Lockhart at first base, puts Austin Shenton at second. And that's the situation the Gatemen have with 2 outs here in the 6th. Paven Parks will come up. The third baseman from Kent State is 0 for 3 today with 3 flyouts. So not a great start for his Gateman tenure, as we've seen with so many of the guys coming into the team this season. Guys like Jeremy Idens and Ryan Kreidler with their big debuts for the Gatemen. They drove in 3 runs apiece last week. Sahid Valenzuela has come in and caught fire, so it was a high bar to set for Paven Parks. And also he's wearing Andrew Vaughn's number 16, so he's got to live up to that as well. Not doing it so far tonight, and he's behind in the count 0-2 with 2 outs and a couple of men on base for the Gatemen. A look in from Daniel. Here's the 0-2. This one's going to be flown out towards center field. And Greg Jones into the game at center will make his second put out of the inning. And that's how it'll end. The Gatemen leave 2 stranded, but still lead 7-3 here from Spillane Field on WCTV.
Cameras and video cameras are permitted inside.
Blake Sable, the catcher, will get things started here in the top of the 7th. Takes the first pitch up and away from Nathan Florence, who is in his 2nd inning of relief. He struggled in the 6th. Gave up a couple of solo homers to get us to the 7-3 scoreline we see right now. It's a called strike at the top of the strike zone. Count evens at 1-1 to Sable. Takes a big cut and a miss on that pitch. Does the Chatham catcher, who's 1 for 2 today. He doubled back in the 2nd inning. Then grounded out to the pitcher, who was Joey Matulovic, in the 4th. That pitch just missing down low on the 1-2. Evens things up at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Florence rocks and deals the 2-2. Caught on and missed. He elevates a pitch on Sable and gets him to strike out swinging. It's back-to-back strikeouts for Florence if you go back to the top of the 6th inning. Got Ben Ramirez to strike out to end that frame. Gets Blake Sable to strike out to start off this one. There's 1 out and nobody on for Adam Fogel. First pitch to the Chatham right fielder is going to dip low and inside for ball 1. Fogel also struck out back in the 2nd inning against Matulovic. Left 2 men aboard, and he struck out swinging. And flew out in foul territory in the nice play made by Lyle Lockhart, the over-the-shoulder catch back in the 5th. 2-0's the count to him right now, though. And now it'll be further in his favor as this one hops out of the glove of Roscom, and he catches it on the carom, and it's 3 balls and no strikes to the man from the University of Hawaii. Get me over pitch does just enough to keep Fogel at the plate. He's about to throw his bat and head down to first, but he stands in there with now a 3-1 count. And gets the elevated fastball again and is unable to connect on it. So from 3-0 to 3-2, Florence has battled back and will look to have Fogel retired for the 3rd time tonight. 3-2, he's going to do just that. Elevates it again, letter high, and a swing and a miss from Adam Fogel is the 3rd straight swinging strikeout for Nathan Florence. And after a woeful 6th inning with 4 long fly balls in which 2 of them left the yard, Florence has settled down here in the 7th. At the bottom of the order, the 7, 8, 9 men, 7 and 8 have already gone down. Ahead of Jorge Arenas as he takes this one on the outside corner for a called strike, 0-1. Cut on this one. Looks like it's going to stay in play. It's actually going to stay right in fair territory, and under it is the first baseman Lockhart. In fair ground, will make the catch. Florence sets them down 1-2-3. Stretch time here from Spillane, and a 7-3 lead for your Wareham Gatemen.
second baseman from Utah, number 50, Oliver Dunn.
Stretch time is over, and John Denver has ushered us into the bottom of the 7th here at Spillane Field. 7, 8, 9 due up for the Gatemen, starting with their second baseman, Oliver Dunn. He's going to offer at the first pitch and foul it off to the left, well out of play. Dunn has reached base twice tonight, both via the free pass. He walked in the second and again in the fifth, and in the fifth he also stole second base. This one's going to be down low, missing for a ball, 1-1. Also struck out looking back in the third inning, did Dunn, so he's technically 0 for 1 today. And this one a tough miss there from Davis Daniel in his third inning of work. Miss for a ball, 2-1. He's kept the Gatemen off the score sheet in the 2 innings he has worked. In fact, they don't have a hit off him, and they've left 3 men stranded. But Daniel in danger of putting Dunn on, which would be the 3rd time today for the Wareham second baseman. He's ahead of the count, 3 balls and just 1 strike. 3-1, gonna miss down low, and it indeed is the 3rd walk of the day for Oliver Dunn. It's the man who's hitting just over 100 at 107 coming into today. He's finding his ways on the base paths, showing some value at the bottom of that lineup, the bottom 3rd, batting 7th tonight. And so hasn't this man been showing out for the bottom 3rd. Luke Roscom, 2 for 3 with a couple of singles in the 2nd and 3rd. Stands in now with Oliver Dunn on base in front of him. Big cut and a miss on an elevated fastball from Daniel. And you will fall behind the count, 0-1. That's the 2nd time Daniel has walked Dunn. And Roscom was able to bounce out to first base last time against the Tiger of Auburn. 0-1 is going to be bounced foul down the right field line as Dunn was off with the pitch, so something on here for the Gatemen. But he will obviously have to trot back. 0-2 is the count to the catcher from Nebraska. Daniel to the belt. Here's the 0-2. Dunn started, then stopped back at first base. And it will miss up high. Count goes to 1-2 to Roscom. One-two is going to be bounced to first. They'll go down to second for 1 and then on to first. They're able to get the out there, so an unorthodox 3-6-3 double play turned by the Anglers, and that eliminates the walk from Oliver Dunn, and it puts 2 outs in the inning with nobody on base in front of the scuffling Skylar Hunter. Hunter's going to foul this one back, so he's behind the count, 0-1. So for 3 tonight. Struck out swinging his last time up, was the 16th K of the year for him back in the 5th inning. Take this one low and outside. Count evens at 1-1. Even with that average down in the 100s for Hunter, he does have 6 RBI on the year. He's going to get under this one and float it foul down the left field line, and will get out of play. With 2 outs and nobody on base, Hunter finds himself behind the count once again, 1-2. Time is called as Daniel will step off the mound and Hunter will take a step out of the box. Far cry from the .333 average he had during the regular season for Purdue, so got to imagine the hits are going to come for him. He stays alive at the plate following a tough pitch off. Back behind him, count stays at 1-2 with 2 outs. And when it does come around for Hunter, that'll be a huge addition for the Gatemen, almost like a mid-season acquisition. Down at the bottom of the order, that second leadoff spot hitting 9th. Certainly open up a lot of doors for them, as Luke Roscom, the man in the 8th spot who just grounded into the double play, he's been swinging the bat a lot better for them. And if Dunn's able to stay getting on base at the clip he has tonight, 3 times in his 4 plate appearances, he's earning himself a spot in the everyday lineup. This one is going to be fouled off by Hunter. He just got a piece of it on the 2-strike pitch. Splitter down in the dirt from Daniel, but he's able to stay alive and keep the inning going here in the bottom of the 7th. One, 2, he's going to get a piece of it again, and Sable unable to hold on to it, so Hunter really putting a battle together. For the most part, he has put together good at-bats this year for Wareham. Just waiting for it to come through, as he's going to back off this one on the inside corner. It just misses a bit too far inside. So the count will go to 2-2. First baseman for the Gatemen is warming up in the bullpen, Lyle Lockhart. So we'll see who goes out there in the top half of the 8th. And Hunter, after a big battle at the plate, will come through with a single to center field. And exactly what Skylar Hunter and Don Snedden want there. He's a pest down at the bottom of the order, and this time he comes through with a hit ahead of Jeremy Idens, who is also looking to get his first hit today, 0 for 3 with 3 strikeouts. It's that torrid pace in which he strikes out continues here on the Cape League. First pitch to him, and Daniel is going to get ahead of the count here, 0-1 as it's taken for a called strike. Idens does have an RBI tonight. He was hit by a pitch in the 2nd inning with the bases loaded. Reach base that way, but that's the only time he's found the base paths. Runners off with the pitch. It's a good jump by Hunter. The throw down is going to be close, and he is going to be in there safely with a foot-first slide. So Skylar Hunter finds his way onto the base paths. He's going to get a stolen base for his efforts. And from Purdue with his first stolen base of the year. Excuse me, that's his 3rd stolen base of the year. I was on the wrong line that time. So he's down at 2nd. The 0-2 pitch, he's off again and going for 3rd. It's going to be popped up towards right center, though. Greg Jones will move over to his left and will make the catch that ends the inning. Still 7-3 Gatemen as we head to the 8th here on WCTV.
The Gatemen would like to thank Wareham Country Market for helping to feed the Gatemen players and staff after games. They are located about a quarter of a mile from field number 6, offering a convenience store of Dunkin' Donuts and a deli. At the intersection of Route 195 and 28, Wareham Crossing, home of the Lowe's Cars and offices and stock for the Gatemen Turn Group. They also provide a world-class internship experience in broadcasting, marketing, store management, and baseball operations.
As we are on to the 8th inning, it's a pitching change here from Spillane Field. The Franklin Pierce Raven, Zach Hart, will come in. He's appeared in 2 games thus far, pitched 4 1/3 innings. Is a 4.15 ERA as he has allowed 6 hits and 2 earned runs in that span. Has also struck out 4. Count is 1-1. It's going to be popped up. Right field, Jeremy Idens, the right fielder, will come on and will make the catch for out number 1. That was the new second baseman, Incan Woolley, who came on, will bat in John Rave's spot at the top of the order. He is retired for out number 1. We saw Lyle Lockhart warming up in the bullpen. He is at first base for Wareham. So if he's coming into the game this inning, he will come in from his first base position. 0-1 now the count. Hart is ahead of it to Greg Jones. He's going to bounce one on the ground towards second. Deep in the hole, Dunn has to hurry the throw over, but he is able to retire Jones. And it's quickly 2 up, 2 down for Zach Hart. He looks to bounce back here in the top of the 8th. Now Tristan English, who like Jones his last time up, homered. So he went back-to-back, did Jones and English for the Anglers in the 6th inning. A couple of solo shots. He's going to take this pitch in there for a strike. He has 2 RBI tonight, does English. 2 of the 3 runs have been driven in by him. He also singled in the 3rd, singled in the run, and advanced to second on an error by Bryant Packard, but he's quickly behind in the count after that check swing. It's 0-2. He's going to be bounced on the ground to short. Valenzuela will move to his left and throw on to first to complete a very quick 1-2-3 8th inning for Zach Hart. To the bottom of the 8th we go. It's still 7-3 Gatemen here on WCTV. As we move on to the bottom of the 8th inning here from Spillane Field, it's still Davis Daniel out there for his 4th inning of work tonight. He's got 2, 3, and 4 in the Gateman order, and right now as that stands, it's Zahid Valenzuela, Austin Shenton, and Bryant Packard. In a 7-3 ball game here on WCTV, I'm Cameron Stewart bringing you the action tonight from the left field bleachers. Been all Gatemen throughout. They took a 5-0 lead. It was cut to 5-1. Bryant Packard homer made it 7-1. And a couple of solo homers by Greg Jones and Tristan English in the 6th inning, back-to-back. Cut it to the deficit that we see right now, 7-3. The Gatemen push one across in the 1st and then 4 in the 2nd. in need of a bounce-back victory tonight after blowing the second game of the doubleheader in YD on Sunday and the blowout loss last night to Hyannis. Zahid Valenzuela will pop this one up to the third base side. Ben Ramirez comes in on the grass and will make the catch for out number 1. Second time he's flied out to Ramirez tonight. Make him 2 for 5 on the day. Austin Shenton, with 1 out, nobody aboard, will come up to the plate. Designated hitter tonight is 1 for 1 as we stand in the 8th inning. He singled in the second to load the bases, also walked in the first, walked in the fourth, and was hit by a pitch his last trip to the plate in the 6th. This one going to miss down low. Count now goes to 2-0. One gonna find the strike zone. Count now goes to 2-1 to Shenton, who's building on a .419 average, was once the leader in that category in the entire league, not anymore. This one will run inside, will miss for a ball, so he's ahead of the count 3-1, and looking to get on base for the 5th time today. He's going to have to wait to do that as he fouls this one back to the screen. Count runs full, 3-2. A nice bounce back from the Gatemen bullpen tonight. Even with the 2 homers given up by Nathan Florence, Zach Hart settled in for a 1-2-3-8 and has kept them comfortably ahead still. 3-2 is going to be on the outside corner for a called strike 3, and Davis Daniel, the third pitcher on the night for the Anglers, is the first one to figure out Austin Shenton, as he is now 1 for 2, but did get on base 4 times tonight, and that could very well be the night for him, and we'll see if this is the night for Davis Daniel as the pitching coach is out to talk to him. Ahead of Bryant Packard with 2 outs in the 8th and a 7-3 ball game. Packard has done some damage today. 3 RBI, sacrifice fly, and a 2-run homer. And Davis Daniel is not going to face him. We are going to have a pitching change here from Spillane. And we'll give you that new pitcher in just a moment here on WCTV. New pitcher on for the Anglers, first lefty on the night. It's going to be Nick Scheidler from UCLA, 6'3", 190 pounds, making his Cape League debut today. And will come on to face the lefty Bryant Packard, and will pound the first pitch in there for a strike. There's 2 outs and nobody on for the Gatemen. They lead 7-3 over Chatham. He's going to reach out and follow this pitch back to the screen. So far, Scheidler doing his job. He's got ahead of the count, 0-2 to the dangerous Bryant Packard, who already has driven in 3 tonight, including a 2-run homer back in the 4th inning. Check swing by Packard. They're going to say he goes around, but since the pitch is in the dirt, Sable will have to throw down to first to complete the strikeout. Gatemen go down 1-2-3 against 2 pitchers in the 8th inning. We head to the 9th. Gatemen looking to finish this thing off 7-3. They're ahead of the Anglers here on WCTV. We have reached the 9th inning here at Spillane Field. Zach Hart, who set them down 1-2-3 in the 8th inning, will come on to finish things off in the 9th. First pitch is going to be rolled just foul down the first base line by the designated hitter Kyle McCann from Georgia Tech. And a pretty impressive year for the Ramblin' Wreck, a .300 average, 15 homers and 45 RBI out of the ACC, and an OPS over 1,000. A cut on and miss at this pitch, and he's behind Zach Hart from Franklin Pierce, 0-2. It's been a tough night for McCann, 0-3 at the plate. Strikeout, ground out, fly out. And now we'll lift this one to right field again. Coming on strong is Jeremy Idens, as that ball was dipping fast. But Idens able to record out number 1, just 2 more to get for the Gatemen. And it will come to Colin Simpson now. Singled his first time up in the 2nd inning, but has since struck out and flied out. First offering to be pounded in there for a strike. Junior from Edmond, Oklahoma, hit .280 for the Cowboys of Oklahoma State on the year, along with 18 homers, 6th in the nation. This one's going to fall down low to him for ball 1. 1-1 with 1 out and nobody on base for Chatham in their half of the 9th. Simpson fights this one off, but he's now behind in the count. 1 ball and 2 strikes. One-two offering, just going to miss on the outside corner. Crossed up Roscom just a bit. That runs the count to 2-2. There is action in the Gatemen bullpen should Hart find some trouble. Ryan Stoudemire, who is in the quasi-closer role, is warming up out there. But it's just 1 more out for Hart to get, as Simpson will fly out to Skylar Hunter in center field. 2 down in the 9th, and Ben Ramirez represents the last chance in a 4-run ball game for Chatham.
Continuing for Chatham, number 36, Drew Mendoza from Florida State.
And I have misspoken here. Ben Ramirez will not come to the plate. Florida State's Drew Mendoza will pinch hit for him. Big hulking left-hander will take the first pitch up letter high for ball 1. Gatemen trying to end the 2-game losing skid. They will have an off day tomorrow and will be back at home Friday at 6:30, so you can catch that as always here on WCTV. And this might be it. It's popped up towards left field, and Packard will give chase, but it will be just out of play, so we will play on in a 1-1 count to Mendoza. On the outside corner for a called strike 2, and there's just one more to get for Zach Hart to close the book on this one. What's his best outing of the year so far? Nobody on, 2 outs. Here's the 1-2. Does not get him to chase on the outside corner, so the count runs even at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Gatemen with a win tonight will at least get back to a half game back for first place in the Western Division. Just 1 point off. Hart to the belt. Here's the 2-2. Gonna ramp up high. Mendoza will take it up and away. And the count will go full again. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Here it is. Be fouled straight back under the legs of Roscom into the backstop. So a battle by Mendoza. Does not want to be the last man out in this one, as this would be the 3rd straight loss for Chatham. Both teams coming in with a 2-game losing streak. Here's the 3-2 again. And this one is going to be spoiled once again, off to the left end, out of play. So the battle continues between Zach Hart of Franklin Pierce and Drew Mendoza of Florida State, 2 opposite ends of the college baseball spectrum. Of course, Franklin Pierce competing in Division II, Florida State one of the toasts of Division I. This pitch just gonna miss. Holding up is Mendoza. And the pitch just missing off the outside corner, so he will trot down with a 2-out walk. Game still going here from Spillane. It's the first base runner against Zach Hart in his inning in 2/3. First walk, of course, he has given out. Blake Sable will now come up. We're going to have a pinch runner as well. Get more on you for that in a moment.
Pinch runner Austin Wilhite, number 1.
It's a guy who started twice against the Gatemen this year. Austin Wilhite, the middle infielder, will come on to pinch run. Blake Sable, the former Gateman, at the plate, representing Chatham's last chance tonight. Pitch is going to tie up Sable. He checked his swing, but it's a called strike on the inside corner. He's behind in the count, 0-1. One is going to be skied high, right field. Going out is Dunn. Coming in is Idens. It'll be the right fielder, Jeremy Idens, who will make the catch that ends the ball game and ends the losing streak for the Gatemen. They are back at least within a half game of first place in the Western Division. 7-3 victors over the Chatham Anglers today, and the beat rolls on at Spillane Field. They run their record to 7-1 in Wareham this summer. They'll be back home after an off day Thursday. Friday night we'll be right back here on WCTV to take on the Hyannis Harbor Hawks. 6:30 start time from Spillane. For all of us here at WCTV, I'm Cameron Stewart. Thank you for tuning in with us tonight. Again, Gatemen 7-3 victors over Chatham. Good night, Wareham.